story of Norak is not the usual story where, as expected, the chief executive, like my humble self, can claim, to have started it. Because fundamentally, I'm not an IT person in that sense. However, what happened was that about 2015, my colleague, who is a sound software developer, registered a company called Norak Technologies Ltd. Then he was using it to do some solo jobs, and the company wasn't really, doing as well as it ought to, given the advent of technology and the impact it has made in the global economy. So at that time, I was working in a finance company, and I spent quite a number of years there. And I retired around 2021. So when I came out, and I was thinking about which industry I can make an impact. So that was when we connected, and I discovered I had this skill. And I said to him that instead of doing this thing in a very small way, we can do something bigger. Why don't we, open up a proper company, have a board of directors, have a managing director, and then we can recruit staff. Then at least impact the people, create jobs, and also support the digital economy. So that was how we started this place. So our vision actually is to be able to reach out to as many households, as many companies within Nigeria, and as time goes on, Africa, West Africa, give them a solution that allow them to work seamlessly with minimum stress. So that's basically what we are looking at. So you can say that our core vision is to provide IT-enabled solutions, to businesses, to schools, to organizations, to be able to manage their entire activities seamlessly. About the time I joined the company, that was about the COVID era, because I fully joined in 2021. But before that time, we had COVID. So the African Development Bank came up with what they call the African Virus Challenge. Because of COVID-19 at the time, they felt that people were going to be at home. So they needed to have a solution that can, while people, particularly children at home, they can have a product, they can have an LMS, like a learning management system, whereby the teacher can connect with the people while they're at home to deliver classes to them. So we participated in that challenge. That was in 2020. I think the final outcome was in 2021. And we're one of the 20 they selected, for innovation, in technology and other things. And we got the award. And it came with a few thousands of dollars, which also helps us to fully set up the place. So that I consider to be a major achievement. Another one is the fact that within the short time, because it's a tough market, you have the likes of, for example, we have an accounting, solution. We have the likes of Sage, we have QuickBook. These are competitors. So, but within the short time, we have been operating, we're able to break into, some areas. And of course, we provide a product that is customizable. Now, for example, we don't really care what your needs are. Now, we have a solution that a manufacturer can use. We have a client who is a fashion designer. We have a client who is into transportation. We have supermarkets that are using our solution. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is that we have created our solution in a manner that any sector, if you come to us and you tell us what you want, even if we don't have it, we can build it. Or we can also take what we already have and customize it to meet your needs. We have Norak, which I say is a business management solution. It's a major product. And that's what I was just talking about. That any business can use it. We customize it to meet your needs. Okay, because if you go to the market and look at something like Sage, that's really an accounting solution. Now, with our own, we also have an accounting solution, but we integrate other things into it. For example, if you're into transportation, if you're into hotel, if you're into hospital, we can provide a solution for you. All we need to do is look at your processes, and then we digitally provide processes also that meets up with precisely what you do. So that's one of our products. In fact, it's our number one product. And then number two, we have Akada Suite, which is for schools. It comes with an LMS, that is the learning management system. So that even if kids are at home, like they are going to be on a holiday now, if some schools prefer, they can still stay at home and connect with the kids online they will teach, the children will be online, they will be seeing the teacher live and it will be live. So that is also available. But majorly, Academic Suite is a school management solution. It allows schools to take out all the manual processes from admission, payment of fees to the end. You can use the solution and be sure that it saves time, it's seamless, and it's also more efficient and less costly. Then we have the one we also have for churches, we call Evangel, or similar organizations, we call it Evangel. So we also have that one. And then beyond that, those are our products. Beyond that, we also have services. If we do mobile app, if you want a mobile app, we do a mobile app for you. We build websites. We even do training. Okay, we have those are other services that we render. So, like as we speak, we have a number of kids who come in for the holiday. We engage them, we train them, if they are parents. So we have that. Of course, we are also planning to scale that up as we tag along. So we have formal schools where students can come in and learn, whatever aspect of technology they desire. Well, to be frank, it has been tough, but of course, like I mentioned earlier, by the time we came into the market, there were competitors, and they are still there. Okay, but our key point, our key goal is that number one is that our product is denominated in. Some of the products in the market are foreign based. So when the Naira became devalued, of course, that was to our own advantage. That also helped us to push our product. Because the ones in dollars became expensive, we are now looking for solutions in Naira. So that helped us. But otherwise, it has been a very tough market. And of course, the environment is not business friendly. That has also been a challenge. The policy, for example, you start a small business, and the government is pursuing at all levels. That's a major challenge. Local government will come in the morning, states will come in the afternoon, in the evening, federal is coming. On what? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that also is a major challenge. But overall, the advantage we have, the opportunity is huge. The market is big. In the sense that you can get our ass right, we still have a huge opportunity. So that's our take. That's what we believe in, and that's what is driving us. The market is huge. The Nigerian market alone is huge. Not talk of Africa, West Africa. It's still evolving. And the challenges we have, part of it, and which also what drives us to do the things we do, is that we see, like I said, we see a great opportunity. And that drives us. Number two is that the global economy has become digitalized, whether we like it or not. So that also is a driver for us. Over time, people are becoming IT friendly. The days when I was in the financial sector, it was amazing to note at the time that you have bank managers, for example, who didn't know how to put a computer. But that is changing. And then we have Gen Z. All they want to do is IT related. Everything. And that also makes us believe that the future is pretty bright, and that's motivating and that's encouraging. And we also draw inspiration from that. These young ones, they want to do crazy things when it comes to IT. And if you go to social media and see the companies that are creating, you know that that's the path to go. So those are some of the things that drive us. So we believe that as time goes on, things are going to get even more interesting. A lot of people are going to try to get into the system. People are trying to get to know. It's like now people are training. Like I said, we do training. Young people, adults, people coming, they want to know about this thing. So it's a major plus for the industry generally, and for us as a business in the industry. Okay, it's what I mentioned before. When I said that we have the ability to customize. So we don't just have a product we put out in the market. The key advantage we have, as a matter of fact, there are two. Number one is that we can give you anything we want. As I speak to you now, for example, we have a company, we are building a microfinance platform. We also, sometime in the past, we built a platform for a cooperative society. One of our customers is in River State, Bayelsa, actually. A lady, she's into fashion. The truth is that we can customize. Either what we have already, we can customize it, or you tell us what to do. We can build from scratch. We can also take what is already in existence and customize. So that, I believe, is a key advantage that we have. Now, number two is that we have our support and maintenance are on the ground. When you buy any of the foreign softwares, if you have a challenge with it, you're going to start calling somebody in India or UK. No, we are here on the ground. Our team is on the ground. So we provide support and maintenance 24/7. That's the edge we have in the market. We are on the ground. Some customers, yesterday a customer came here, sat with us from morning to evening. Why? Because we are there. If we are not here, they cannot do that. And at times, we call, we go. We send one of our staff to go and meet with them, whether when their issues are resolved. So that's an edge for us. We are always on the ground to meet your needs and to support. Those time we did some work with the Benue State government, trying to provide a platform for them for collection of revenue. Those time we also use a platform for Ijaniki College of Education. Now I think it's a university. We built a platform for them to manage their students, their fees, and all of that. So that's also one of the things we have. We have a transporter. We have a supermarket at Aja. That is one of our clients. We have also a company at Alaba area. So we have our clients at Alaba. We have an Indian company in Maryland here. They are into sales, purchase. Then there's a new company we just signed up. They are into warehousing. So we have a client at Enugu also. They are into distribution of goods, these people that major distributors of major companies. So we have our clients some are into manufacturing. So we have a diverse. So it's not a one cap feature kind of thing. We give you what you want. So we can serve any sector. It's not that expensive. Like I said, we give you what you want. Let me also say this. Initially when we started, because we knew it was going to be challenging trying to compete with the big operators, we decided to focus on the SMEs. Okay? And at that point, we were ready to do anything. 200,000, 50K, we put something for you. But over time, we realized it was not sustainable because we couldn't pay our bills. We couldn't pay the people we recruited. So we had to scale things up. Now, as we speak now, we have, depending on what you want actually, we have 100,000, 170,000. We also have 2 million, 3 million. If you want the ERP is in millions, maybe 1 or 2, 3 million or more. That's for the ERP. But if you just want, we have a CRM, which is just for customer relationship management. Now it's not very expensive. We have payroll. So it depends on what you want. And the number of users also. Those are things that make it come up on it. Otherwise, anybody can. An SME that is willing to pay 75,000 can get a solution. A big firm that has big money that can pay 4 or 5 million can also get a solution. So it depends on what you want. It's our products spread across all sectors. In order to determine that, the first thing to actually do is to go and look at the contribution of the IT sector to Nigerian GDP, and it's been growing over time. Okay, now if you now bring it down to our level, let me start with the basics. The last time that tax people came here, we had a big, because my argument with them is this: at that time, really, we were challenged. We couldn't pay the tax. Because the staff we had, they're not even earning much. They were earning 70,000, 80,000, which for me did not cut it in this economy. And then somebody now comes here and asks me that we're not paying tax. I said, no, I'm not opposed to paying tax. But in other economies, if you look at the country we call the Asian tigers of the 90s, they were companies that were driven by small and medium-scale enterprises. They were the major employers of labor. Government backed them up, gave them infrastructure until they could stand. So I was telling them that same thing is something that is lacking in the economy. You cannot access finance at a reasonable rate. If you go to bank to borrow money, they will tell 30%. How do you survive with that kind of rate? It doesn't make sense. We are on generator since morning. In fact, the past 2 weeks we are going on generator. That's the major challenge for us. So those are the things that that we find pretty challenging. But in terms of contribution, if you look at the people there, when we started out, we had about 3 people. Well, now we have about 11. And our target is that by the end of the year, God helping us when we scale it up, it's about 20. And because we believe that we have a product that is sellable. Recently, we went to recruit 3 salespeople just to support it. Now, we have been supporting in terms of creation of employment. We have been supporting government, then we pay our taxes. That's also part of our contribution. We also have been in terms of training young people. Some of the IT students we have, the interns we have here, we pay them. There are people who go to school today, come out with economics. They can't discuss the kind of things. Why I've worked in a place and gained the experience. So they also need to. So we provide opportunities for young people to learn, some of these IT related things. Okay, I think in the area of policy, government needs to be clear as to what future that we are pursuing. Now, for example, in technology, for example, like I mentioned earlier, if you look at the entire global economy today, it's driven by technology. So any country or nation that does not follow suit is going to lag behind. So government has a role in shaping the policy. They need experts. If we want to do well, we need to look for the right people. For example, you say you have Ministry of Technology or whatever. Whoever is managing that ministry must be an expert in technology. Somebody who can see the future of technology and then is willing and ready to do whatever is required to shape that future. So I think that in that area, not only in technology, many areas over the years, not just the current government, we have been lacking because we appoint people to position based on political consideration, which shouldn't be. If we want to develop, there are people who understand this thing. We must get them to come up with for example, if you look at the new tax reform, it may not be perfect, but you know that some professionals has come into it. And if government implements it very well and remove all these corruption and over the next 5 years, government will not be able to work it. So why an expert came into the tax? And so if they do the same in other sectors, that's the area that government should leave all these attempts to go into production. NMPC should be completely realized. What are they doing there? Because over the years, it has been proven that the private sector will always manage better than the public sector. So what is government doing there? If there must hold percentages there in the 20%, allow the private sector to respond. So that's the role I think that government must intentionally play. It will not happen by accident. They have to intentionally play that role. Create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Entrepreneurship can be very challenging. Like I was telling somebody a few days ago that the first 2 years I was there, I did not earn a couple. Okay? If you want to be an entrepreneur, you must be ready and willing to sacrifice current enjoyment. You have to push it to the future and do the work in the first few years. Now, unfortunately, the generation, we call them Gen Z, they're in a hurry. To get to it. So the advice I have for them is that they have to calm down. So they have a lot of skill, but it's in a hurry. Calm down. Focus. Pay attention to the things that matter. If you can just focus, perfect your knowledge and your skill. By the time you launch out, the world will hear you. For us in Norak now, where there are still constraints here and there, but what we do is that we have a training every Wednesday for our staff. Now, because one of the first things we try to do is to get every staff to be grounded in understanding the features of our products. I mean, they say that charity begins at home. You need to understand, if you don't know where you're coming from, there's no way you're going to get to your destination. So we have trainings every Wednesday. Try to get them to understand this is the product, this is Norak, these are the features. If you meet a client, these are the kind of things you need to say to the client, the prospective clients. I mean, These are the kind of things we need to. So we do that. And then we also seek out for opportunities that we can afford. I must put that caveat. We can afford where we send them to go, see, learn one or two things. And then we also drive them also to go to like exhibitions. Where they can also learn a few things. And at the same time, sell our products. We also encourage them to do that. So those are the kind of things for now that we do. Let me also give credit to government in the sense that, at least for this environment, the power supply has actually improved. We are in Band A. We don't really have a lot of challenge when it comes to power. The only challenge is paying for it. And solving it is not making it unaffordable. The solution is not to make it unaffordable. It has to be affordable. It has to be subsidized. Forget about this thing that I'm talking about. If you want to encourage businesses, power has to be subsidized. The solution for me is simple. Like I said, like I studied economics in the university. I had a master's degree from UI economics, so I have an idea of how the economy operates. And when I was in school, I read about the Asian tigers, the likes of Taiwan. There was a time in this economy, the global economy, where nobody wanted to touch any product from Taiwan. Say, not Taiwan. There was a time like that. Now, what did the government of those countries do? Even China, they say China. Who was touching it at the time? But the government of those countries came to back up all those companies, encourage them within and without. So I think that this government has to be, our own government has to be doing a different direction. How can we support these companies? How can we exempt them, for example, from tax? In those days, when we started, there was like something that was done. They done in ISI, where government was providing opportunities for even foreign companies to come here and build factories and give them tax exemption for 5 years. That's how to encourage businesses. Look at the small companies. Okay, no, you don't pay tax until you can start. All those kind of things. Government comes, look at clusters. Okay, and there are clusters of industries, factories in this area. Government says, okay, give them power supply. Subsidize it for 5 years until they can start. I studied economics. I had a friend to be in economics from the University of Benin. And then later, I worked in a company for about 3 years, and then I left to UI to do a master's degree. When I was done, when I left there, I moved to Unilag. I was a graduate assistant for about 4 years in Unilag because I wanted to get I thought I could get a PhD. I thought I should. But when I came, and I found out that it had a lot of politics and youth leaking and all of that. And in the midst of that frustration, I got a job with Fidelity Bank at the time, one of their subsidiaries, their capital market subsidiary. So I left, spent about 2 years there, then moved to another company in the financial sector, and then I spent about 6 years there and moved to another company. Up until, like I said before, then around 2020, I felt I had tried. I needed to do something else. The question was now, what next? So I now came out. I now began to pray and to think. So what do we do next? Okay. And then somehow, my eye opened to IT space, and I thought, okay, there's a lot of opportunity in this sector. If you look at the global economy, the direction that I'm going, eventually it's going to come here. So that was when I now met the young man I talked about earlier. He's a software developer, studied it in school. Like I said, I'm not a developer, but I have interest in the IT space. And my interest is not to go and start coding. I don't have any such plan. So we now met and I said, okay, let us scale things up. Let us open up an office. Let's recruit people. Let's have a board. So I started looking for who and who. And if you look at our board of directors, we have quite some good people there. We have our chairman, Wale Oshima, who was a DGM, Sterling Bank, before he moved to Ogun State as a commissioner of finance. And then he's our chairman. So we started putting these people together. This is what we want to do, but we need a good board to drive it. And then he accepted. And we met another man, Julius And so that was what we created from the board, and we said it's a little liability company. Let us look at the shareholding. So we now did all of that. That was how we got to this point.